You've been here before. Waking up, looking around, believing what you see is real. But what if none of it is? What if everything, the walls, the sky, the people you trust, are just shadows dancing on a cave wall? Plato's allegory of the cave wasn't just a story. It was a warning that most of us are still chained, still facing the wall, still mistaking illusions for truth. In Plato's world, reality was like firelight casting fake images. In ours, it's pixels, patterns, code. The simulation theory suggests this isn't the original world, it's a rendering, a game, someone else's design. If we are just programs, what does that make our memories? Our pain? Our dreams? Are we characters pretending to be conscious? In Hindu philosophy, they call it Maya, the grand illusion. Not because the world isn't real, but because it's not the ultimate truth. Everything you chase, wealth, identity, even love, is part of the dream. And liberation only begins when you start questioning the dreamer. A prisoner freed from the cave is blinded by light. It hurts to see truth after living in shadows. Just like it hurts to realize your beliefs about the world, about yourself, were never yours to begin with. They were fed to you, programmed, echoes of someone else's design. But if reality is an illusion, who's watching it? Who is the observer behind your eyes, sensing the simulation? Are you the character? Or the player? Maybe both. Maybe neither. The illusion isn't just outside, it's the one you call I. Imagine lying in a dream so vivid that you forget you're asleep. The sky feels endless. The pain cuts real. You fall in love. You lose. You cry. You laugh. And then, the alarm. Awakening. Everything vanishes like smoke. But what if this moment, the one you're in right now, is just another dream? Deeper, subtler, more persistent. What if your real awakening has yet to come? We cling to these fleeting joys, these fragile fears, as if they were the whole of reality, never questioning the nature of the stage we're performing on. Modern physics whispers secrets older than religion, that particles do not exist until observed, that reality isn't fixed, but fluid. You, the observer, are not separate from what is seen. You define it. But who, then, is the observer behind your eyes? If the universe only collapses into form when witnessed, is it your gaze that creates the world? Or are you simply a character in a story, blinking into the illusion already written, already coded? What you call reality is the brain's rendering, not the truth. Light hits your retina. It's flipped, filtered, and interpreted. Sound? Just waves. Smell? Chemicals. The world isn't presented to you. It's created by you. Your senses build a map, not the territory. So when you look around, remember, you're not seeing things as they are, but as your mind allows. Maybe the world is real, but your experience of a carefully constructed hallucination you call life. Buddhist philosophy names this illusion Maya, the cosmic veil. It's not meant to trick you maliciously, but to help you grow. In chasing fleeting pleasure and fearing loss, we begin to sense that something's off. The mask slips, the cracks form, and through them, light. The illusion gives you just enough suffering to seek truth, and just enough joy to keep you searching. Without it, we'd never awaken. Without forgetting, we'd never remember. So what now? If the world might be illusion, should you reject it, escape it, or dance within it? A wise one once said, "The dreamer must know they're dreaming, not to run, but to wake inside the dream." Lucid, aware, awake in illusion, yet not fooled by it. That is the art of living consciously, not escaping reality, but piercing its veil, walking the line between wonder and wisdom, knowing that what feels solid may be shadow, and yet walking anyway, eyes open. They say the world is made of atoms, but you never touch an atom. You feel pressure, light, vibration, not the thing itself. Even pain is interpretation, a signal, a guess. You've never directly experienced reality, only your brain's best attempt at explaining what might be there. Every moment is a theory stitched from glimpses. So how much of what you know is real, and how much is merely believable? Plato spoke of a cave, prisoners chained since birth, seeing only shadows on a wall. To them, the shadows are reality. But one escapes, sees the sun, the real world. And when he returns to tell the others, they mock him, because illusion feels safe. Truth feels foreign. How many of us still sit in the cave, mistaking shadows for truth, believing only what flickers in front of us? Now enter the digital age. We craft avatars, upload moments, filter our lives into pixels. Simulation theory suggests this, that we are not the creators of the system, but the code within it. A civilization so advanced may have built this world as an experiment, a memory, a story. If so, what is choice but pre-written script? And what is love but programmed chemistry? If we are the code, who is the coder? But if reality is code, it's a beautiful one. Trees still breathe, stars still burn, laughter still echoes. Illusion doesn't mean meaningless, it means layered. And sometimes, the most profound truths hide within fiction. Maybe reality isn't binary, not true or false, but both. A dream you must live through fully, before realizing it was a dream all along. So ask yourself, if it's all illusion, does that free you or terrify you? Because in an unreal world, you are not bound by rules. You are the painter of your perception. The question isn't whether reality is real, but whether you will awaken inside it and choose to shape it with meaning, beauty, and truth, even if it's all just a flicker in the cave. Imagine walking through life as if in a dream. Everything feels vivid, yet somehow distant. The philosopher Zhuangzi once dreamt he was a butterfly, and when he awoke, he questioned, was he a man who dreamt of being a butterfly? Or a butterfly dreaming of being a man? What if your entire life is that fluttering moment, delicate, beautiful, and impossible to hold? The Vedic concept of Maya speaks of illusion not as deception, but as the cosmic dance, the veil that hides the true self from itself. In this dance, you play a role, wear a mask, speak lines. But deep within, beneath the mask, lies a stillness. That stillness is not bound by birth or death, name or story. It simply is, pure, observing. Look around, the objects, the people, the sky. All these things are not things at all, but perceptions translated by your senses, interpreted by your brain. You never see the world, only your version of it. 10 people in one room live in 10 different realities. So, what happens when you step outside that filter? What remains? In dreams, you run from things that never existed. You feel fear, love, guilt, as real as waking life. And yet, you wake, and the emotions fade like mist. So if dreams can feel real, and waking life fades just the same, how can you be certain which is which? Maybe the dream and the real are not opposites, just different rooms in the same house. Perhaps reality is not meant to be solved like a puzzle, but experienced like a poem. A mystery not to be explained, but felt. Every breath, every shadow, every whisper of wind may not be real in the physical sense, but in your awareness, they become sacred. Not because they are permanent, but because they are fleeting. Your thoughts, are they truly yours? Or are they echoes of voices you've heard, fears you've inherited, desires placed into you by a world that taught you what to want? The illusion may not be reality itself, but the belief that you are the one shaping it. What if your mind is not the sculptor, but the clay? Descartes said, I think, therefore I am. But what if the eye that thinks is only the tip of something deeper, a surface reflection in a pond, rippling and unsure? If thinking defines you, then who are you when the thoughts stop? In deep sleep, in meditation, in death. Plato's cave warned us, do not trust the shadows. But what if we've grown to love the shadows? Built stories from them, sculpted gods and fears in their flickering dance? The chains may not be metal, they may be comfort. The cave is warm, the light outside, blinding. The simulation hypothesis suggests this is not even base reality, but a digital rendering, a code, a game. You are not flesh but data, and the rules you follow, physics, time, emotion, are algorithms. It's unsettling, but also liberating. Because if it's code, perhaps you can reprogram it. And yet, maybe it doesn't matter if this is real or not. Because you feel joy, you feel sorrow, you dream and break and heal. If illusion can move you to tears, is it less worthy? If this world is a stage, then you, the actor, still carries truth in your voice. And maybe that's enough. If this is a simulation, then who pressed start? Somewhere behind the patterns of light and logic, there must be an architect. Or perhaps the system is self-sustaining, like a dream dreaming itself. But then, again, don't we do the same? We create stories, rules, gods, and forget that we made them. Maybe the programmer isn't somewhere else. Maybe it's us, asleep at the keyboard, lost in our own design. In Hinduism, the world is Maya, not false, but not as it seems. It's a divine play, a Lila. You are the actor, but also the audience. You wear masks of identity, status, sorrow, and for a while, you forget you are wearing them. But the curtain will fall, and when it does, will you remember who you were before the role began? The more you search for real, the more it slips through your fingers. The atom becomes energy. The self becomes story. The world becomes code. Maybe reality isn't a destination. It's a question. One we carry quietly, even when we laugh, work, or love. Maybe the question is the most real thing we have. In dreams, you believe without question. You run from danger, you fall in love, you cry. Only when you wake do you realize it wasn't real, and even then, it lingers. So what if this too is a dream? Not one to escape from, but one to understand. Perhaps enlightenment is not waking up, but learning to dream with awareness. Reality, illusion, dream, simulation. In the end, we search not for what is real, but for what is meaningful. Whether projected on cave walls or simulated by code, if it moves your heart, it matters. So maybe the question isn't, is this real? But what will I do, knowing it might not be? Because in a world of shifting truths, the only thing that feels solid is the choice you make next. Children don't question reality. To them, dragons are as real as dinner, and the sky can sing if you listen long enough. But then we grow up. We stop asking, what if? And start demanding, what is? And maybe that's when we lose something, not just innocence, but a kind of truth only wonder can unlock. Plato's cave reminds us, the shadows we chase may not be the truth. But escaping the cave isn't easy. The light burns. The real world feels colder than illusion. Some return to the shadows willingly, because comfort often wins over clarity. And so we ask again, is freedom worth the pain of seeing? Modern life is full of simulations. Social media filters our faces. Algorithms predict our choices. We live curated lives inside glass rectangles. And when we look in the mirror, we don't always see ourselves, just an echo of who we think we should be. If this is real, it's growing harder to tell. But even if reality is an illusion, does that make it meaningless? A poem is not real in the way stone is, yet it moves us. A dream vanishes at dawn, yet it can shape our lives. So maybe the illusion is not the problem. Maybe the problem is thinking only the physical can be true. You are not just the observer. You are also the dreamer. Whether the world is real, illusion, or simulation, what matters is your gaze. The way you see gives shape to what you see. And in that act of seeing, perhaps, lies the only true reality we'll ever know. Reality bends, not always by force, but by attention. Two people witness the same sunset. One sees beauty, the other sees the end of a long, hard day. Is the sunset different? No, but perception wraps it in a story. And so we realize, reality isn't just what exists, it's what it means to us. Each meaning becomes a lens, and through it, we shape the very thing we try to observe. The illusion is not just out there, it's in here, behind our eyes, whispering what to believe. If you peel back everything you were taught, the names, the borders, the clocks, what remains? Is there a pure, unfiltered world behind the mental architecture we've built? Or is that architecture all there is? Like Maya in Hindu philosophy, the illusion isn't deception, it's structure. It's the dream we all agreed to share. But if enough people stop agreeing, does the illusion collapse? Or does a new one rise to take its place? Technology has blurred the boundary between real and artificial. Hey, I can create faces that never existed. Games simulate entire worlds more vivid than dreams. We walk through virtual spaces, fall in love with digital voices. But when your heart races inside a dream, is that emotion fake? If your tears fall for a story, are they any less wet? Reality, it seems, is no longer what is true, but what feels true. And that, is both liberating and terrifying. Maybe what we call reality is just consensus hallucination. An agreement so deep, we forget it's an agreement. Language, time, money, all constructs we obey as if sacred. But the moment we stop believing, they tremble. Look at a tree not as tree, but as form, pattern, stillness, life. See it before your mind names it. That moment, raw and nameless, might be closer to the real than any word ever spoken. So what if reality is an illusion? Not to escape it, but to know it. To see the curtain and still choose to dance behind it. Like the actors who cry real tears in a fictional play, we live stories that shape us. And if it's all a dream, then let it be a conscious one. One where we awaken not by exiting the illusion, but by understanding our role in it, the dreamer, the dream, and the one who watches both. Time, the silent architect of our illusion. We treat it as linear, a straight line from birth to death, but physicists whisper otherwise. Past, present, future, they may exist all at once, like pages of a book already written. We're not moving through time. We're reading it one moment at a time, believing each word is now. But what if the story has always been complete, and we, the characters, are just discovering what's already there? Have you ever felt déjà vu? A place you've never been that feels like home? A sentence spoken that echoes from nowhere? Perhaps it's not memory, but cracks in the illusion. Little glitches, revealing that the script has been run before, or that you're not just living, you're remembering. In moments like that, reality feels like fabric, thin and fluttering. And if you listen closely, you can hear something breathing behind it. In Plato's cave, prisoners saw only shadows and called them truth. Today, our shadows are pixels, curated feeds, filtered realities. We swipe, scroll, consume fragments. But the wall is still there. We think we're informed, but are we enlightened? Escaping the cave isn't just about walking away. It's about seeing the chain that made the illusion comfortable. It's realizing that light burns when you first step out, but only then do you see what casts the shadow. The simulation theory says our world may be coded, zeros and ones behind the stars. But if so, who wrote the code? And why does it include pain, joy, love, loss? Maybe the programmer is not a deity, but the mind itself, weaving a dream so immersive, it forgets it's dreaming. In this virtual theater, every heartbreak is data, every kiss a spark. And you are both the player and the played, searching for the source inside the story. Maybe the final test is not whether the world is real, but whether we treat it as sacred. Illusion or not, a rose still bleeds when picked. A child still cries in hunger. What matters is not if we're dreaming, but how we live inside the dream. If we can love, even knowing it might be a simulation, then perhaps love is the only real thing. The thread that runs through every layer, waking or not. You open your eyes, not from sleep, but from the long slumber of assumption. The trees look no different. The sky hasn't changed, but something inside you no longer accepts the surface. The patterns, the repetitions, the edges that never quite connect, they whisper, "You are dreaming." And for the first time, you don't dismiss the whisper. You follow it. But awakening isn't peace, it is disorientation. The ground feels soft, like memory. The wind doesn't blow, it waits. You begin to notice things that were always there. The glitch in a stranger's smile, the delayed echo in your footsteps, the silence that watches. It's not madness, it's clarity without comfort. A terrifying freedom. Because when the rules are gone, so are the excuses. And then, a new realization dawns. Even if this world is illusion, it is your illusion. Shaped by your beliefs, sustained by your fears, colored by your hopes. The cave, the simulation, the dream, they are not prisons, they are mirrors. The world doesn't lie to you. It shows you what you are ready to see. The question isn't, what is real? But, what are you choosing to make real? You start to live differently now, not because you're certain, but because you've let go of needing to be. Every smile becomes a mystery. Every pain, a message. You treat the world not as a concrete truth, but as a moving poem. And in that poem, you begin to write your own lines. Perhaps it was never about waking up. Perhaps it was always about remembering you were the dreamer all along. So, is reality an illusion? Maybe, maybe not. But in the end, we live, we love, we suffer, and we wonder. And if all of it was a dream, then let it be a beautiful one. Because beauty, even in illusion, still matters. You are here. You are aware. And perhaps that is real enough.